Yeah, all these power trades. Oh, what is happening, guys? Welcome back to the Bucher's Batch of Boys Fantasy Baseball Podcast. Hope you enjoyed your winters. Brad, my lovely guest, not my co-host, but my guest, saw his shadow, so here we are, ready to do a pod. Brad, how are you?
Good, good. I'll be better once the snow stops.
Yeah, Brad's done with winter. He saw a shadow. He doesn't want
I'm
that.
over it.
Kyle, my lovely co-host, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm jealous of you guys. I mean, we've been catching up for a while, but just noticing Nick has his bench press showing off in the background, and then Brad has the sword of Excalibur just
Yeah.
chilling. What's the deal with the sword?
Oh, it's from Lord of the Rings.
It's pretty sick.
If
It's
you notice, Nate, you notice that's a 35-pound plate, so I'm benching 115.
Fuck yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's Andy Will.
nice.
It's yeah.
Wait, who uses that one?
Your main boy Strider.
That's a Strider.
It's a Frodo. It's a Frodo
No,
sword.
it's not Frodo's sword.
Yeah. Okay.
Cortana.
It's your main character. It's your big guy. It's the guy that you love. I'm trying to give you guys some hints, but no one's
I
picking.
got locked out of fan tracks.
Not locked in the tracks.
I'm not sharing Vince's. I've been locked out.
It's Aragon's sword. It's Aragon's
Aragon.
sword. It's
All right, when do
Aragon's
you get
sword.
to share?
Who's the Aragon between the three of us?
Brad.
Nice.
I'll take it.
Kyle and me are married Pippin, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I
love
like
that.
that.
I do love that. I love you guys being married and Pippin. I could be your Gimli, just the kind
Yeah.
of chubby. Bearded guy.
Gimli's sick.
Yeah, I could be Gimli.
Gimli's one of the best
Gollum.
characters.
I know, he might be my favorite character.
Actually, no. Charlie is Gollum.
Charlie's Gollum.
All right.
Charlie's Gollum and trades are his precious.
Yeah. Fresh. So, Charlie, because of your message in the group, we're doing a pod for you. We're going to break down all the trades. Hope you're excited. Hope Charlie's tuning in. Let's get to it.
Let's get into it. I guess I need to share my screen.
Yeah, please, one of you guys
Yeah.
share. I'm locked
I didn't
out.
really have it ready, to be honest.
I have it ready. I can share it.
Brad will share.
I don't think I allow people to share.
Oh,
Like,
damn.
Actually, that's true. Kyle is the fucking alpha whenever we do this. Kyle
No.
want me to share on my videos.
So yeah, Brad, I think I unintentionally have my settings set so it like actually doesn't allow people.
Unintentionally.
That's amazing.
Um,
I all controls the boat.
let's see. I don't use Zoom anymore. I only use Teams. So I'm just trying to remember.
Brad, while he's pulling it up, a fun fact about the league is you're the only guy who's made no trades this offseason or last season. Why no trades, Brad?
I mean, it worked out well for me. I finished in the money. No, I liked my team. I liked my guys. Didn't see a lot of moves. I put some feelers out there. I had offers. There wasn't a there was offers that were definitely fair and like acceptable to me. Like I got a lot of like solid offers, but I never pulled the trigger.
So you would make a trade if the right offer came along.
Yeah, that was close like a couple times. I got some like good offers, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just like sticking by your guys, and it treated me relatively well last season.
November. Like I was close a couple times, but like
But yeah, then sometimes you just gotta hold it in.
I like my guys. I'm gonna hold
Yeah.
this clear.
I don't think it's working.
I don't even see your.
Yeah, I don't see anything. What the fuck?
Yeah, I just see darkness now.
I
Can you
can't
hear
see
me?
anything.
I can hear you.
Actually, I
I
just
can't see you.
I see the bottom half of Brad's mouth.
Um,
This
I know.
is
I also
good.
got like really dark all of a sudden.
This is
I'm
good.
gonna-
No,
I'm
I
gonna-
see it now. I see it now. Oh, I saw it for a second.
shows how good we are. Okay, let's try one more time. Any luck?
Worst case, just read them. It doesn't matter if we can see them. Worst case, we'll just read them. There, I see it now. We're good.
I'm sorry, guys. All
I
right.
see.
So, starting from the bottom on November 5th, we had our first trade of the offseason. Actually, maybe not the first trade of the offseason, but first trade that we have on here. It was Dylan Cruz for Jack Leiter and Raisel Iglesias.
So, Brad, this is all about you here. What do you think?
Oh, this is an interesting one. Solely because I guess Rysale is still gonna close. It sounds like it. It's not gonna be Suarez. So that's interesting with our now. This is the first. Did we move last year to the double saves count, or was that we're still holds were full?
Saves are twice as valuable as holds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
save twice as value as hold. So that's interesting since his save count might drop a little bit, but I think he's still slated to be the primary guy. And then Leiter, I think, is up for a big year. He's got some like interesting metric stuff going on. I'm intrigued by him. That Texas team might not be that great, but that's interesting. And then Cruz is a I don't know how to feel about Dylan Cruz right now. I don't know your guys' opinion on Dylan
Former
Cruz.
top prospect. Yeah.
I know it's weird because like you look at him, it's like Statcast. I don't think he's like that great. I think it's a little like shaky and like LSU guy. I'm a little biased always towards my LSU guys, but like I don't know what to feel about Dylan Cruz on a bad Nationals team. I guess the pro is like that national team is bad, right? So they're just gonna keep playing him. You're probably just gonna end up getting counting stats from the guy, but like it's not even he's been like stealing at a crazy pace. I don't think since he's gotten called up. So I like the flyer move there. I think for is that I guess that God damn it. I guess that's Griffin, right? Yeah, that's Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin Raymond here.
Yeah, I like the flyer move at least from Griffin to get Cruz. It's an interesting like play from him, but I want to like Dylan Cruz more than I like Dylan Cruz.
I feel like Kyle, you know Griffin and Raymond both really well. What do you think about this?
I'll try to stick it to just a few seconds, but if you look at some of the former top prospects, some work out, some don't. Like Jordan Lawler is a good example where I think he was somewhere around $10 or maybe $6 one year. Didn't pan out, didn't play much. He could still be good. So with all that said, I think buying Cruz is actually a fine move. I think they're all borderline keepable.
Yeah, that was going to be my question actually at the end of this is how many of these guys of the three are you definitely keeping? How many are you excited to have?
None.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably none. Like
They're borderline. Yeah, but I like the ability to keep Cruz.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
probably where
There's
I
guys
fall.
upside. Do you guys think we'll move on in a second because I mostly agree with you. We won't waste a lot of time. Do you guys think Iglesias definitely is the closer?
No,
I
I think he's
I,
old and like not that good.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. But I guess what's been coming out of camp is he's going to be.
I think he'll have first shot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Since we're not a keep and hold league, like he's the type of player I just don't want.
yeah. I don't think I'd keep him. Right, like that's kind of where you fall on that.
Do you
Like I
guys
think,
prefer the Griffin side? Or no, I guess you guys prefer the Raymond side.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably
Ray
rather.
side.
I think
We love
Lighter is probably the player I'd be most intrigued by.
Okay. So it sounds like we're kind of split actually. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have a million trades, so that's enough of that. Let's move
Yeah.
on.
Next trade.
Next one up here, we got Vlad, Randy, Four, Boyd, Profar, and Suarez. Brad, you know Mark's dad really well. What did Mark's dad do here?
Him getting Vladdy from you was maybe the surprise of the offseason. That's been your guy, your Julio Rodriguez.
I
Or
got
you got Vladdy. Sorry, you dropped Vladdy years ago, didn't you? What happened with that? You traded him years ago.
yeah, I got Vlad and Randy. He got the other
Yeah,
three.
you got the other three. So
Kyle will fall.
did you have Vladdy years ago? That was your
I had Vlad like 6 months ago.
yeah, a while ago. Yeah, you kept him for years, and then you moved him away at one point.
I was bad last year.
Yeah, but I'm glad you got Vladdy back because that is your guy.
Me too.
That's fun for you. So I think I'd
Look
much
at Nick
just
guy.
straight up looking at it, I'd rather have Vladdy than anybody on the other side. Like I think you do very well. And also, I don't know if you'll keep Randy. I think he's a little pricey, isn't he?
He is.
He's a little
Gonna be
pricey,
39 or 40 or 41.
40 something. Yeah. I do like Randy this year. I think Randy he actually hit well in Seattle, which is good. It's normally
Good
like
speed, good power.
yeah, it's a good, normally like a death sentence for hitters, but he's probably not keepable, so we don't have to talk about him much. I think you might be dropping him. I don't know. That one's a close one though. That's like a feel gross keeper, but you might.
How do you feel about Boyd, Profar, and Suarez?
I'll try to keep it short, but I think it's one of the strongest trades of the whole offseason, everything that we'll cover. Maybe it's just my bias that I like getting the blue chip players,
Yeah.
and I like trading up. I think there's an argument that Boyd, Suarez, and Profar all have a lot of surplus value, but I don't really particularly like any of them. And I think Vlad is, I don't know, I would say he's a top 10 hitter for sure, like a lock. And so for me, it's easy. I might not keep Randy, but it all depends on roster construction.
I mean, out of the first basemen that are available, and you're getting a $45 Vladdy, That's insane. As I'm like trying to debate on keeping a $60 Matt Olson because I'm like I would have to pay probably a good chunk of money for a Bryce Harper or Freddie Freeman. Like
Right.
getting a $45 Vladdy is probably just you take that every day of the week.
I would like this trade as one of the strongest trades of the year if Vlad were
Yeah,
$80.
There's a
yeah,
lot
yeah. If Vlad was super expensive, I would still like that your
Hmm.
side of the trade.
Yep.
But 45 that I would Vlad, yeah, you didn't have to give away anything like crazy for him.
I don't know, man.
I do like
Yeah,
Perfar.
good.
Perfar's
Okay.
an interesting. Perfar's
Well,
an
Nice,
let's
interesting
move
cat.
on. We have a billion trades.
nice
Yeah,
job, Nick.
nice job, Nick. That was a big win for you, I think.
I like this. All right. Actually, let's focus more on that one.
Yeah, let's just only talk about Nick's big wins.
We got 3 for 1 here, including Jared. So Devers for Freed, Contreras, and Jeremy Pick.
Oh,
Just kidding. We have another one first.
no, we
That's,
have
Yeah.
two more. We have two
that's a
more.
preview. We have a lot of
Oh
trades
yeah.
first. Sorry, Kyle. My screen's tiny. We have Pagan for Framber. 1 for 1. This is Raymond and Griffin and Roman. Kyle, you know about Roman. What's Roman doing here?
Yeah, I don't remember the order of this, but I like Framber. I think ADP usually goes down before player signs, and I think Framber was potentially a little undervalued. So I like this one for Roman.
Brad, how you feeling?
um, I'm just looking at the rosters right now. Neither of these players are on this guy's teams anymore. So I don't even think we have to talk about it that much because they're gone.
So would you rather have Framber or Pagan, I guess, in the back?
I'd probably, I guess, rather have Framber in Detroit's going to be pretty fun. I think this year it's a good Detroit team. It's a good ballpark. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Does Trey have a good defense? I'm trying to think. Like,
I feel like they have a pretty mediocre outfield and a good infield.
which is good as a sinker ball like ground ball pitcher.
It's a
So
good ballpark to pitch in. I
yeah,
mean,
it's a
this
good
is
ballpark
what
to pitch
Framber
in.
signed, obviously, too. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think you're both right that I'd slightly prefer Framber, but it makes sense, I guess, in November or December too to gamble on a potential closer because Pagan was probably the favorite then to get saves. I get why Griffin wants
Yeah.
him, but yeah, I think for me it's a thing where even then I'd probably lean towards the I don't know top 20 SP before he signs, and depending what he signs as, either 25 or 15. I would take Framber. It's
That is
close.
almost hilarious that neither of these guys are on these teams anymore.
It is pretty funny. Brad looked that up that neither one has either guy now. I love that.
Well, I went to go check like what their price was. I was like, neither of these guys are on these teams anymore.
The next one, though, me and Kyle are going to bite down and not talk for 25 minutes here. Brad, you're the only guy in charge here.
Oh
This
man.
is me and Kyle. So it's
Oh,
Hunter
this is
Brown,
exciting.
George Springer.
This is
Oh,
fun.
here we go.
Sorry.
Hunter Brown, George Springer,
Oh man.
and Alonzo for James Wood.
Before
Brad,
I get,
Kyle, you're not me.
do you guys still have
You
all these players?
want them?
No, do you still have them all? Have you guys moved any of these guys?
I think we
before?
all have all of them, actually. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you haven't moved any of these guys. So this is an actual like trade that we could pontificate on or whatever. Oh, okay.
WWBD. What would Brad do?
Hmm.
Mm.
This is a really interesting trade because James Wood is still super cheap, isn't he?
He's 85. He's not cheap.
Is he what how much is James Wood now?
He's 16.
He's 16. Okay, so you're getting
He is cheap. He is cheap.
yeah, you're getting a very like
He's
solid
good.
you're getting a like very above average James Wood, but with some question marks of like how bad that strikeout rate was in the second half, and he really did fall off in the second half with like 7 homers in the second half compared to
Yeah,
however
Kyle,
many
he
he
still
hit
got a
in the
lot,
first.
dude. Big mistake.
And he struck out a lot. So you're gambling, but you're gambling like young, like freak of nature talent, which I
Kyle
like.
really fucked up here.
And then from Nick's side, Hunter Brown is a stud,
Cy
but
Young.
with some like interesting,
Oh,
maybe some Arsenal question marks. We're not sure. He throws a lot of pitches who need to figure it out, but he looked really good last year. So I do like Hunter Brown a lot and also cheap.
there's a lot of pitches, it's true.
Springer like the bounce back of the century last year. And he's like $11. Yeah, he's super cheap. So that's another good. Oh man. And then you get Polar Bear. You get the Polar Bear Pete in your corner for 37. Man. Oh, I really don't know what corner I'd be on this one.
Ooh.
I guess. Oh man.
Ugh.
It's almost like a straight up. I think it's probably just a straight for not to say that you're both here. I think it's kind of like a straight up fair trade. You gave up, man, between James Wood and Pete Alonso. I guess those would be maybe Hunter Brown. I guess
Oh,
James Wood and Pete Alonso would be the kind of two prizes, the two most important names in that equation.
so
Followed by Hunter Brown.
I'll jump in with the
Yeah.
thought. So would you rather have Vlad or James Wood at the same cost?
Mm, probably Vlad.
Me too. And so,
Probably Vlad.
with that said, I think Nick won the trade for sure. If I could have
Yeah.
just if I could have just paid the Vlad cost for James Wood, I would have preferred that. But honestly, I think this trade, Nick definitely won. I'm trying to rebuild my roster, and I intend to keep both Judge and Ramirez. So a lot of this
Oh,
was kind of a roster construction trade. I mean, hey, Springer could be better than Wood again this year, and I think Springer is
yeah.
probably the worst player in the trade. So like I think it's a great trade for Nick, and it's a move for me to try to rebuild.
It's a good trade too, because I mean, you guys are going to keep probably all these guys. I don't think any of them you're dropping. Yeah, it's a good. I like the way you kind of phrase it. It's a good retool for you to get James Wood and get some younger, cheap talent on a team that you have a bunch of expensive guys, and then Nick going full rebuild is kind of a good way to churn your roster over and get some good guys in there. And you get Pete, and I always kind of bias myself towards getting guys on the team you root for. It's always a little bit more fun. So you're going to watch those guys every day. So you get a guy you're going to watch every single day. That's always a little more fun for you on that side. But yeah, it's a good trade overall. It's a tough one to decide on the side for me, really.
It's a good one from Kyle because basically the way we took it is almost what Kyle offered me to start, and I can't think of the last time I took a 3-for-1. This is
Yeah,
an example. Like it's hard to not give up a lot for the best player, and it's a deal where I do think like whether you rank whoever where like for the way our league works, James Wood is so valuable.
yeah, he's
I
insanely
love James
valuable.
Wood. He was the prize of all my offseason sell-off last year.
Yeah,
But Kyle made a really fucking good offer here.
yeah.
Like,
You got a bunch of good players that are still like very affordable.
yeah.
Like that's the thing, and they're gonna be affordable for probably a season or two. Like I don't think mate, Pete, you probably can hold for 2 more years, I would assume at least. And
Kyle, I
then
would have done it for Vlad if
yeah,
you want to do it for Vlad. Like, I'll
yeah.
trade you Vlad for Wood if you want.
Mm,
Maybe I'll have to look at
maybe
it.
that's interesting. It's very interesting overall trade. I'm very intrigued by that one.
We've got 3 minutes. Want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
Yeah, let's do one
Do
more.
one more. So
One more
this
for
is
Kyle.
Kyle and Brendan, another 3-for-1. Brad, you know
Hmm.
these guys super well. So what do you think about Denver for Freed, Contreras, and Pena?
Ooh, ooh.
Oh, Brad's pissed. This trade's not happening.
And
I
Devers is
don't.
expensive. Devers is like, I don't know, 45
Brad's
bucks.
not doing it.
Devers is
No one's doing it at
expensive,
all.
but I mean, we were talking earlier. You like getting the best guy in the trade. I think you did get that with Devers.
Would you veto this, Brad?
No, no. I just don't know. I gotta look at Kyle's team
Would you
again.
kill one of them?
Kyle's team
I don't
is
have Devers.
don't have Devers anymore. So I guess this makes it even more interesting. Yeah, it makes it even more interesting. You no longer have Devers.
Brad, you have Devers now, right?
No, I don't know who the hell has Devers. Yeah, I guess we can be
Eric,
lighter on it since you don't have Devers anymore.
Eric
But
has Devers now.
yeah, so I guess we can be a little lighter on it. We'll maybe come back to it. But I don't hate the trade overall. I think it's a probably a pretty even trade to get Devers and then you turned him into something. So maybe we'll revisit.
Yeah. I feel like it's tough. Devers is definitely the best player in the trade, but he's not cheap and he's not overly valuable as far as surplus goes. It depends if you care about the catcher at all. Contreras has, I think, some surplus value as a catcher, but I don't think he's that valuable overall, especially because like 8 or 9 of us have catchers.
Yeah.
I think Pena has some value. And Freed, it depends how much you care about what a pitcher did last year versus where you're projecting
Yeah.
this year. To me, the surplus value numbers would say that probably Kyle lost this. I'd say it's pretty close to a wash as far
Yeah.
as you want the best player, you're willing to overpay a little bit. Freed has surplus for sure. I would say Pena does for sure as well. But nothing is as assured as probably Devers being very valuable. So
Yes.
I'd probably rather have the three, but it's by a very minute hair here in the sense that I'd probably still do it if I'm trying to get the best player. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like, I don't care that it's slightly minus EV if I'm Kyle. I would probably do it. But I get Brendan wanting to minimize his cost because Brendan, similar to Kyle, Brendan has a lot of guys who are close to being worth keeping. You're going to lose surplus value by making cuts if you have to make cuts anyway. So if this is a slightly EV loss, you have EV guys on the bench and keep.
And looking what you turned Devers into, more intriguing.
Kyle just cut Devers. He didn't do anything.
Oh, we traded Devers.
Yeah, I did.
All right, we'll
Trade
see you guys
Devers.
after the break.
All right,
Trade Devers.
talking sec.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Bucher's Badge of Boys Fantasy Baseball Podcast. We are still breaking down the entirety of the offseason trades. We're now on a 3-for-1 here. Kyle, you know Raymond, you know Griffin. Would you rather have Emilio Pagan, Hunter Green, and Trevor Rogers, or Maikel Garcia?
Hmm.
I think this is a close one. I like this trade more than some of the other ones we've talked about. Just I think it's interesting. Hunter Green is one of my favorite pitchers in all of baseball, and I think Trevor Rogers might be the most underrated player in all of baseball. So I actually like this for Ray again. I think I took Ray's side the first trade we went through, and I think I'll do it again.
Big
Uh,
Raymond.
Michael is my sweet prince, so I always have a soft spot for him. But overall, and it's tough, right? Usually, I like selling pitchers and buying hitters, but
Yeah.
on this one, I'll go Team Ray.
Brad, do you like Raymond or do you like Griffin?
I actually think I like Griffin's side, but not not in this trade for what Griffin has on his team. I think I'd rather
What?
be on Ravens. So Griffin, I think maybe heard some of my advice and where I went, oops, all shortstops. This man has like five third basemen right now. He has so many third basemen. Um, he has Junior Murakawa, Junior Canada Morikawa, Noelvi Marte, Miguel Garcia, and Brett Beatty. He has like all third basemen.
Griffin's like a dipshit, we think.
He maybe took my advice too seriously about oops all shortstops.
Oops.
Um, so I'm not I do really like Miguel Garcia though, but I think giving up what he gave up, I'd rather have probably the Hunter Green, Trevor Rogers side if I was Griffin still because he just has so many third basemen. Getting McKell seems, just a little overkill for what his roster is constructed with.
Yeah. I'm not in Fantrax right now. I'm still locked out. So I'm sorry for the people. Can one of you tell me what Hunter Green costs? Because Hunter Green is the toughest part of this for me. Hunter
Yes.
Green is heliumed up so much. He's become so valuable in a way that I liked him, but he is like legitimately a top 10 SP right now.
33.
Hunter Green's not even on that team anymore.
He's $33.
33. He's a slam dunk keeper for me. And I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of surplus value there too if you think he
Yeah.
truly is a top 10 starter. And even if you don't, he's pretty good. And Trevor Rogers has a ton of surplus value too.
Yeah.
So Raymond definitely added the most surplus value here in my mind. That said, I love it for Griffin, even though I like it for Raymond too. And I love it for Griffin because if you look at Griffin's roster, Griffin has so many of these Cedon Rafaela, Andy Pajes, 6 to 11-ish dollar guys who are mid, above average, but not deal breakers, who are special. And this helps Griffin because Maikel Garcia to me is like a top, I don't know, 45, 50 hitter, the steals and power and all that. And Kauffman Stadium, after he made this trade move the fences in, helps him a lot. To me, if I'm Griffin, I want to get as many good players as possible who are legitimately going to help me win a league finally. And I think Maikel is the most valuable piece, especially the surplus value as far as like cost goes. Hunter Green's a big price, and Trevor Rogers is a ton of surplus value too. And Pagan's not used as it is either. But if I'm Griffin, I have so many guys who are at cost or better that are slightly good values.
Yeah.
I love getting a significant help here and a guy who's pretty good. So it's hard to say it's a win-win, but it kind of is because Raymond gets the better overall surplus, I think. Good job, Raymond. But Griffin, it's good for you because I think Griffin should go for it hard as fuck here. And he definitely does here by getting the best player, I think.
Yeah. Interesting.
But you guys hate Griffin, I feel like.
I don't trust Griffin.
Yeah, I don't either.
I never know what he's gonna do, but it somehow always works. I will look at his team like halfway through the year. I'm like, how is this team good? And yet he's like in the top three every single time.
Griffin was like optimized to finish fourth every year. It's just his favorite thing. Like if
Yeah.
he's doing bad, he'll finish fourth. If he's doing well, he'll finish fourth. It's his favorite. Like he just loves being near the money. Like
Yeah.
tangentially nearby the money. Anyway, we have a million trades. Next up's a 1-for-1 challenge trade. Kyle and Griffin, Brad, you've been talking about this all since it happened. The day it happened, you've been texting me 24/7. Would you rather Teoscar or Cade Horton?
I'm so deep on Cade Horton this
Yeah.
year. Big Cade Horton guy. all over it. His like pitching run value stuff is crazy. He's got a good fastball, good breaking ball, good off speed. Like everything he does is good. Pitches in Wrigley, that always helps you a ton. The only thing you look at his stat cast, like he's got a lot of red, and he's got a lot of blue for some of his like expected stats, but like he does well in stuff like chase rate. He does solid on his fastball velo. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. The only like big negative I see on here is like his barrel rate and his extension. So like overall, very solid pitcher on a good Cubs team. Looked great last year. 24 years old, still cheap. All in on Kate Horton. I think you're getting and then that Dodgers outfield gets weird. Like they're just gonna start doing weird Dodgers shit with Teoscar probably. And so I don't know how I feel about maybe him getting all the playing time we're used to Teoscar Hernandez having.
Yeah, it's tough because Kyle's on the pod, so I don't really mean, but like Teoscar's kind of in like a short side platoon, I feel like. He's a righty, probably playing only lefties. And he's expensive. He's like in the 40s, I think. He's expensive. So, but Cade Horton, though, I mean, Brad's underselling, I feel like. His X WAR T is in the top 20% in baseball. His OARP, pardon me, is like the top 10% in starter. So I feel like it's a guy you're going to get good pitching stats from, borderline elite pitching stats. He's cheap and young. And Teoscar is basically playing like 3 or 4 games a week at most. I know Kyle probably wants the hitters. He's trying to sell pitchers. So I understand the logic if I'm Kyle. But I think it's sold really low here. Cade Horton's a Cy Young contender potentially in a year or two. Dirt cheap. Oh my God, yeah, the XARP2 is in the top 20%. Like he has a ton of advanced stats that look very impressive to me. And he's someone I would have probably given you more than this for. I'd love to hear what Kyle says here. Kyle, what was the argument here?
Yeah, I don't know about his XARP. I think it'll be, 20 or so years until the XAARP comes in for Cade. But I think Cade had a great season. I really liked him. He helped me out a lot last year. It's funny because I think he throws his four-seamer like half the time.
Yes.
And I think it's his worst pitch. He actually has a really good arsenal. So I think if he's
thinking of maxing.
I think if he spreads it out a little bit, maybe he could really emerge. But I think Teoscar is one of my favorite players so far since I've started playing fantasy baseball. He's always been a bad X darling. I think depending on how you squeeze our roster in an auction calculator, I think his true value is between $17 and $26, depending on how you look at it. And I think that that excludes any keepers that we have. So any efficiencies in the market would further increase his value in our league. So what I have been trying to do is consolidate my roster. I believe that our league undervalues expensive players going into the draft. And so that was the idea here.
Makes sense. I hope it works out.
Well, update, Kyle might love Teoscar, but not that much. He's not on his team anymore. So
yep.
Kyle's just full of shit. Kyle's just lying.
I am honest about the Teoscar thing. He was on my team when I won it, and I specifically targeted him that year. He's definitely one of my favorite players.
Dude, Kyle is right, though. I feel like every year for the last like 3 or 4, I plug the bad X projections into our stuff. So I was like, Teoscar's the 13th best hitter. I'm like, yeah, is he? So yeah, I get it.
So like,
it's really fair. I'm just high on Cade Horton. I think Brad and I are both pretty high on Cade.
Big Cade guys.
So depending on how you squeeze the auction calculator, ranking hitters, 37th would be Manny Machado at $28, ADP of 38. 38 would be Jackson Merrill, ADP of 70, dollar less. Pete Crow Armstrong, ADP of 30 would be the 39th best player, best hitter. And then the 40th best hitter, right below PCA, would be Teoscar. Looking at bad X, so like to your point, Nick, it's like not close to the ADP. I mean, Teoscar's ADP is what, 138,000.
How many books have you read?
So,
what was that sound?
I opened up my Instagram by accident, and then I was like trying to close it. Just airplane.
Brad's watching Instagram Reels while we pod. I love it. Okay, good deal. Let's move on here. Can you scroll up ever so slightly?
Yep.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Now, this is finally the first non-Kyle in a while. We've got 2 for 2. Kyle, you can go first because it's been a while. Do you want Bryce Trang and Victor Robles or Jack Caglione and Cam Schlittler?
Well, before I was messing around with my roster construction, I think I offered New Nick, Monkey Business. I think I offered him Jose Ramirez for Cam Schlittler, and he said no.
Hmm.
Um, I think that was a huge mistake. I'm going to keep Jose Ramirez now, so I don't want Schlittler.
It
But
fucked Nick. You're not getting him anymore.
Yeah.
but I do like Cam Schlittler. So good for New Nick to get him. I think that's a good move. Um, I don't know if you're going to keep these guys,
I think you keep Terang.
but
Terang's cheap.
yeah, I think Turang's cheaper than Caglione probably, right? So I think it's a good 50-50. I think selling pitchers if you're really going for it is a smart move. So that's what you're doing here, Nick. I think it's a win-win. New Nick
Yeah.
needs to get some upside, so I'll leave it there.
Brad, would you kill yourself on either side?
I think I would rather. Oh man, I think I'd rather have new Nick's side. However, I think the best player in the thing is Bryce Ring.
Well, fuck you.
Um, Caglione is interesting. I don't know how much the projections love him or not this year, but I kind of like a bounce back from him. I mean, he was always a stud from Florida coming through the whole entire minors. I think he was a higher projected prospect than Nick Kurtz. Um,
Same tier. That's the guy who I
yeah,
headed in last year. I was like, oh, nice.
yeah. So like, I do like Caglione getting better, being a better player, and then Schiller was a stud, just an absolute monster the whole entire time. So yes, that's the side I would probably for, but Bryce Turang's probably the player I trust the most out of that. Even though we don't know what the hell we're gonna get from Bryce Turang, I was hearing like I think on CBS like break down his year over year, and it's the most confusing thing ever, where he's like 18 home runs, 7 home runs, a bunch of steals, less steals. Like it's very I don't know what you're expecting to get out of Bryce Turang, but I think it's gonna be good. Like
Yeah.
it's a that's like maybe the most fun player to watch this year, like what Bryce Turang we're getting.
If he holds on to his power, I mean, then
Yeah.
it's easy for Nick to win this trade. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're both Nick.
but he's new Nick.
I,
You're
I,
just Nick.
That's true.
I think a Nick wins the trade. I would leave it there.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
his pod isn't a stump for your players
Yeah.
thing. Terrain became super interesting to me because the way he changed his bat speed.
Yes.
A fun trivia question that I'm not the first one or second or third one to come up with is who had the better bat speed in the second half of last year, James Wood or Bryce Terang? And it's Bryce Terang, which is nuts.
Wow.
Maybe for average, right?
Yep.
Not for max.
Yeah, the average outcome of their at bats,
Yeah.
which is, but still bizarre as far as like Bryce Terang being a 20 homer guy changes a lot of what I think about him.
Yeah.
As far as is he like a 5 or 8 homer guy versus a 20 homer guy? To me, Schlittler is probably the most wide range of outcomes in this. And I like Schlittler a lot. He was not someone I wanted to move. And Caglione, like Brad just said 5 minutes ago, is basically Nick Kurtz Jr. as far as before the year last year. Same guy. I thought they were the same guy. I might have preferred Cags.
Yep.
So I'm pretty confident with the fences moving in and all that. Cags will have a
Yeah.
really good year. The problem is just the Cags is already going to be getting close to expensive. It's just frustrating for that reason.
Yep.
If Cags was a year shorter in his keeper variability, I'd be way more into keeping him.
Yeah.
I think Terang's just likely more to help me. And I'm also doing tons of the same way I'm sure all of you guys are as far as what do I need categorically to finish top three, top five, top two in each thing for the year. I was light on steals at this point in the season whenever I'm
Yeah.
getting straight back in December or January. So I was looking for speed. Terang helps. Terang's also going to give me some power. I think it's a pretty close to a win-win, though. I think it helps like a lot to get Schlittler there for 6.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough
Next
of that.
one.
We have a million trades. We'll move on. So next one up here, we have a Zach and Raymond deal here, a 3 for 2. Brad, you love Zach and you hate Raymond. So what do you think about Nolan McLean and Jackson Holiday for Christian Campbell, Hunter Green, and Andres Munoz?
Oh man, moving Munoz too. I think it's still
I
pretty
know.
affordable.
Too.
I think Munoz is still pretty affordable, isn't he? 'Cause I had him a couple years ago. I think
He might be in the 20s, I think.
Okay, so he's probably is.
44.
Yeah.
44.
Okay. Okay. So he's maybe getting a little less affordable. I think I would rather have the Raven side with Noel McLean and Jackson Holiday. Even with Jackson missing, let's call it the first month of the season at this point. Noel McLean's one of the most exciting young arms of baseball. Even though that's Hunter Green as well, Noel McLean is cheap. Hunter Green is starting to get expensive. Not still probably fair value, but like he's starting to get expensive. And then you get a very, very solid young player in Noel McLean who's going to be on a Mets team that I guess should be good. I don't. I don't know what the Mets are doing this year.
Like an 88.5 over under. They have a pretty good over under, yeah.
Yeah, they have like a good over and under, but it's like the weirdest roster construction I ever seen with like Jorge Polanco playing first base.
Oh,
Um,
I miss him.
it's so odd. But I think I would rather have the I don't think I would rather have the Raymond side of this trade. Um,
Yeah, and Brad makes a good point. He's hurt too, to be fair, that Holiday
yeah.
has the handmade bone because Holiday did not have that going into this.
Yeah, if you look at it before Holiday gets hurt, I would 100% rather have the Raymond side. Now Holiday hurt, a little less so, but I still probably would rather have there's the value on those two guys alone over the other guys.
Kyle, you were saying pre-show you had a strong feeling here. What do you think?
It's funny. I would go the opposite way. So I would if I'm Zach, I drop Christian Campbell and Green and Munoz alone. I think are I would much rather have than
Hmm.
Holiday and McLean even at cost. I think if you look at peak projections, Green and Munoz are both potentially top three at their position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Concisely said, I feel like it makes a ton of sense. I think we can all agree, before I say anything else, the top value as far as surplus goes is McLean. But there is
Yeah.
so much uncertainty as far as like, is he going to be a top 20, top 30, top 40, top 15 even starter? Projections do love him. The Mets are going to be a good team, and he has a ton of prospect pedigree. But if he's not immediately a top 30-ish starter, it becomes a slam dunk for Zach. If he becomes like a top 25-ish starter and you have an SP2 or even SP1 on the low side there, that's amazing. And Raymond probably ends up winning as far as the vacuum goes in surplus value. But Hunter Green is a top 12 to 14 SP1 in all of the auctions right now.
Yeah.
I think Kyle's making a good point as far as too. With the saves holds, closers are still to me a challenge as far as valuing. So I
Yeah.
have no idea what to value Andres Munoz. But that said, he is probably top three-ish already to me as far as if I was going to just pick him in a vacuum, what I want. And with no cost attached, I'd love him. So I think he's helpful even if you're paying probably close to what he's worth.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I think as of now, I would take Zach's side, but I think Raymond has so much upside here. It makes sense for Raymond to shoot for the biggest moon as far as the guys go. Because if McLean ends up being, I don't know, the 18th best starter this year, you're going to really like it. So
That's true.
you've definitely broadened your horizons, but you've probably taken a lot of risks. So
Yeah.
Zach, good job. You added some security as far as like a year or two capability on good players who are legitimately going to help you compete. Raymond, you have a lot of opportunity to become either nothing from that trade stays with you, or you have a ton of upside. And if Holiday wasn't hurt, he's probably at or slightly below cost. With the injury, he's probably below cost now. It's ton tough. I'd probably just hold him if I was Raymond, but he's kind of just like the same way Kyle was saying, I would probably just get rid of Campbell today. Holiday with the injury, I'm not positive is even a plus value keep. I think I'd hold him still just because why not? But he's not a real ad.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We got a 1-for-1 challenge trade here. And just for that, I mean a 2-for-1 challenge trade. So this is Brendan and Griffin. They're in their tent. They're out camping. The stars are out. Vibes are high. Brad, they're doing Jack Leiter and Okamoto for Jeremy Pena.
We're just like flipping the same players around over and over again, aren't we? Between Pena and Lighter.
As a
Um,
Brad who doesn't trade, you don't even understand what's going on right now. You're like, why did you
yeah, it's like
trade?
mind-boggling. Why are you trading for guys you don't want to keep? Whatever. It's like it's like hurting my brain. I would prefer Brendan said. Okamoto's like the super buzzy, like everyone loves this guy in like the fantasy community right now. And it's gonna be like really intriguing to see him play on like a very, very good Toronto team. Um, and then Leiter, like I said earlier, I think Leiter's actually due for kind of a bigger year. He was one of the most fun pitchers I've seen pitch in college at Vanderbilt, and I he had some flashes last year. He's getting there. Normally, Texas is pretty good about figuring out their pitching staff, relatively speaking, as well. And then Pena, I don't know how I feel about Jeremy Pena. I'm not like the biggest Jeremy Pena fan. Um, I think I'd be intrigued to see Kyle's position, like view on this because we've talked about it before, where like I have the bias of like thinking of this less of a fantasy side and more of a baseball side. Sometimes I'm like, well, Jeremy Pena is a very good shortstop, but all his value comes from being a very good defensive shortstop in my brain, even though he's a pretty good offensive shortstop. Um, so I'm not like the biggest Jeremy Pena guy overall.
But his
I
defense is good, you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, like it's like weird in my head where I don't think of Jeremy Pena as like an offensive player first and foremost. I think of him as
But
like a
like it's
defensive
more.
standout. Yeah, I think of him as a defensive standout, and like I know he's better than that. My like when it comes to fantasy baseball too, but my brain always is like, he's just like probably overvalued because he's very good at defense, and you see him in all the rankings. But
His first half last year was so good. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, war, Kyle. What is Jaron Pena good for?
that Okamoto's maybe the most exciting player in this move because it's like the great unknown. But give him a huge contract, and he's gonna probably play every day. And on a very good Blue Jay team. Very, very intrigued by Okamoto.
Kyle, do you side with the Asians or the Astros?
I signed with the Astros. So it's
Mm,
fun that we have a couple different takes here. So
yeah.
Pena is a player I had all of last year, and I actually targeted. I really wanted Trey Turner last year, and I think Nick got him in the auction. And Pena
Both
was one
went
of
terrible.
kind of my B choices. I think I ended up trading for him from New Nick. But yeah, he was a specific target for me last year as someone who I thought could emerge. He didn't play a whole year last year, so only 136 games, but he still managed to hit 22 and go for 11 stolen bases. His average was only 253, but to Nick's point, his first half was exceptional and his
Mhm.
XBA was actually 270. So while I think Pena right now is like maybe the eighth or ninth shortstop on average drafted, um, that's below Mookie, it's below Seager, and at his value, I think he's someone that I actually wanted to keep on my team, but I made a move earlier that we reviewed just to try to consolidate. So I think Pena is the winner here. Okamoto is certainly interesting at his cost, but I think this is an easy Griffin win for me. Pena, let's also just call out the fact that he's 97th percentile sprint speed, 28 years old. I think the most he's stolen is 20 bases 2 years in a row. I wouldn't be surprised if he went out, hit 15 to 20 home runs, and stole 40 bases.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. I think Okamoto has the most opportunity to be a high surplus because he's the minimum. But Kyle is probably right as far as I go too. And specifically for Griffin, again, who has like 18 guys who are all like $6 and they're all like probably worth 13, where there's so many slight surpluses. I like again for Griffin getting a player who is probably a $25 player or $30 player at less than that. You got to get some good players. For Brendan, he probably adds the most overall surplus value here, assuming Okamoto is the median outcome as far as what people are projecting. But to me, Pena is probably the prize by a decent amount. I think I'm probably lower on lighter than the average guy as far as that. I think it's probably kind of streamable. I think he's
Me too.
a guy you want to have on your
I
team.
think I'm higher on the most.
Yeah, and it's totally fine to be so.
Yeah.
One of us will be right, one of us will be wrong, but I'm not sure I feel confident either way. It's just that unless he's like a top 35, 40 SP, there'll probably be matchups to sit him if he's placing like the
Yeah.
Yankees at home. But if he becomes stud, then you're really killing here, Brendan.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big win either way. I just would rather have the Pena side personally. All right, let's keep cooking because we saw like 10 more fucking trades. You guys trade all offseason, thank God. Nice job, guys. All right. So now we got a 1-for-1. Luis Robert and Dylan Cruz. This is a Raymond and Mark trade. Ew. Kyle, what would you do?
I'll try to keep this super quick. Obviously, Robert was dropped. Um, I don't really understand it because I think it may have been before the Mets, before he joined the Mets.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy into Robert, isn't that one of the best possible landing places? So I don't know. I actually would almost say I like Robert more, and maybe I would argue I wouldn't have dropped him.
Brad, how do you feel?
Uh, yeah, now that he's with them. When you take the context, I think this is before he signs with New York. Now he's in New York, it feels way better to have Robert probably than the questionable Cruz, but it is kind of like a nothing burger now, I guess.
Yeah, I think Kyle said it well. We can move on pretty
Um,
quickly here. I would probably rather have the Robert side. This was before the trade, I believe. I think Kyle's right in that. Or it was like as it was materializing. All of that said, I'm not guaranteeing that either one's a keeper.
yeah.
Robert, when he's invested, just because he clearly hasn't been invested previously in the last couple of years, like, but when he is, can be a top like 30 hitter. So I'm not positive he's worth keeping anyway. But if I was going to pick one of them, it actually probably is Robert. That said, Robert can't be kept now. He's been cut. And Cruz has a ton of upside in roster pedigree, so close to a fair trade, I think. All right, moving right along here. Kyle and Eric, the two alpha males of the league, they call
Mhm.
themselves. Yamamoto and Corey Seager for George Kirby, Yoran Duran, and Devers. Brad, which alpha is the alpha
Hey,
here?
this is a monster trade. This is one of the most
Yeah, it
expensive
is.
ones
Both,
we've
both alphas
had
are
in a little
involved.
bit. In a little bit. Hold on, I gotta see who actually still has any of these players real fast
This is
since I
like
trust you to.
clavicular and the ASU frat leader here.
Oh
Who?
my God.
I have Yami and Seager still.
Yeah, you still have both. Okay, does he still have both these? He still has Curry,
Yeah,
Duran,
he
Brad,
and
it's
has
your
them.
mom. Come on, Brad.
that's Devers. Yeah, he still has everybody.
This is real,
Okay,
Brad. This
this is
is
a
real
real
life.
trade. This is a real trade. Holy
Who is
shit.
logging?
Uh, I, ooh man, I think I'd rather have Kyle's side.
Who's the mog
Uh,
and who's the dog?
yeah, no, I'd rather have Kyle's side. I'm big on Yamamoto this year, even though he's going to be dodgered around probably with the weirdness they do. I don't think he's going to throw more than 180 innings, but I think they probably just push him right to 180 innings, and then like he's gonna have a couple of weird. To me, it seems like they're gonna do a lot of the Paul Skeens moves with his like cutting his starts. Like they're just gonna be like, all right, 5 innings, we're up 6 runs. You're good for the day. Kind of move with Yamamoto. So I'm a little less worried about like the total inning count and like missing out on maybe some quality starts here and there. Like I think he's actually they're gonna let him go. I don't think they're gonna skip a lot of starts. Still really like Corey Seager. Corey Seager is one of the most fun baseball players out there. I think he's maybe the most perpetually underrated player in baseball in my mind. Um, and for 49 bucks for a top flight shortstop that was like close to winning an MVP 2 seasons ago with like playing 3/4 of the season, I think. He missed most of that season. Like Corey Seager to me is the most underrated shortstop in the game at the moment. So I would lean Kyle side. We don't know what we're getting with George Kirby. Bit of a question mark at the moment. He pitched well after those first two starts, but the arm angle stuff's weird. All like the extension numbers, everything's just like a little off with him. We aren't going to know until spring training if he's Corey or George Kirby of old or not. Devers expensive. Question marks San Fran, but it is what it is. And then Yohan Duran, you're getting a top flight closer, which is great in our new system. But I think I'd just rather have Kyle side.
Brad, if I were to airdrop onto your team, just with no trade involved, if I would just drop onto your roster today, Seager, Duran, and Devers, would you keep all three? Would you keep two of the three? Which do you think they're all surplus?
I wouldn't keep Devers. I think he's a little too pricey. I don't know what Duran's number is. What's Duran at?
Uh,
Duran 32. I'd probably only lean to keep Seager.
I, just for
Yeah.
the record, I think Seager might be the most expensive of all three. Just wanted to mention
He's
that.
49. I think Devers is more expensive. Devers is 59.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So that also kind of played in my mind of like I think you're getting a better player for $10 cheaper than Devers. You look at that, and then you're getting a $16 Yamamoto for a question marky George Kirby, and then Johan Duran, who's expensive but good. So that's why I lean, not lean. I am all in on Kyle's side.
yeah, I think I prefer Kyle's side too. I
I will
asked
be right back as well.
to me the three guys I just named there are all around what they probably should be. I don't think either one's a bad cost or a bad keep if you do keep them. I think it's totally reasonable. I'm really high on Seager, although it's ironic because I feel like I am high on him, especially for our format. And I might be the low guy of the three of us, just because I'm not positive he's a slam dunk keep.
Yeah, I don't think he is either.
Yeah, and I think Duran, again, we've said it already a couple times already. I don't know how to keep closers. I don't know how closers work. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I'm not positive he's a slam dunk for me, 32. I'm not positive he's a surplus. He might be. He might not be. I truly don't know. And I'm not positive I'd keep him at 32, but I wouldn't be mad if someone else did. I wouldn't be mad if I did either. And then Devers, I think, is closest to possible to figure out. I'd keep him, and I feel pretty good about it, but I would also feel like I'm paying market value for him. So I don't know if it's definitely a huge ad as far as value goes. I'm not trying to simplify it to become a one for one where it's Yamamoto versus Kirby. But the reason I like Kawasai is I think Yamamoto has a ton of surplus. Kirby definitely has a lot too. Kirby's very good. And before last year, Kirby was a much more valuable asset than even Yamamoto was. So it could immediately change within a year. Pitchers are so volatile, pitchers have so many injuries. Yamamoto just threw a billion innings. Like it's totally possible in a week or two from now, I say how much I feel the other way. But just because I feel like those are the two most important long-term pieces on both sides, I'd rather have the Yamamoto side. But it's more for me just that those are the two guys who I think build beyond a year or so from your roster. And even this year, I'm not positive you're gaining value in the auction from the other three players involved. So Kyle, I would give it to you slightly. I wouldn't feel strongly about it, but I would give it to you slightly.
I'll
How
just
did this happen, Kyle? Since Brad's out doing Brad stuff.
I'll just add two quick notes, just because we've been talking Devers and Seager quite a bit. I like Devers way more than Seager, even
Hmm.
at a $10 premium. Seager is a player that I would like to have on my team, so I'm glad I got him, just because I think he has such a wide range of outcomes, and I think anyone who's rebuilding should try to acquire those wide range of outcomes. And then, secondly, just have to shout out to Eric because Eric's the one who reached out to me on this trade, and it's always fun dealing with good trade partners. I was ready to do this trade 3 for 1, so it was those 3 players for Yamamoto, and Eric just said, "Hey, I'm just going through all of my players. I'm going to drop Seager," and so just really appreciate the honesty and just throwing in a player. So really generous and fun to have trade partners like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good point. It helps you make trades in the future too. Then you feel
Yep.
like you can trust your partner.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like Brad feels pretty strongly. I feel kind of 60-40 ish, 55-45 ish. I'd prefer your side, but it's not by a lot. I guess Kyle probably likes Kyle's side, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get on to the big deal here. This is a Griffin and New Nick here. Iglesias for Brett Beatty. Brad.
This is just sticking with Griffin going oops all third baseman with Brett Beatty,
Oops.
even though he's going to play outfield, I guess. I, Actually, what are they doing with Brett Beatty? I have no.
Well, I know what I'm doing with Brett Beatty. Once Griffin cuts him, I'll pick him up and he'll be good. Once he joins my
Yeah,
team, he'll be good.
right.
But
Like it
if he's
feels
on
like.
Griffin's team, he's going to suck.
Bang,
Yeah,
bang.
I don't know what the hell is going on with Brett Beatty.
Imagine being Griffin. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, could not be me for that. This is a weird kind of again almost a nothing burger to me, but I get you are getting a guy that's going to close hypothetically a lot of games. Maybe I don't know.
If I made you
Unsure.
a guess right now, just like right now, I say Brad Kyle for $1 fun bet here. Would you keep either one?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's ass for ass.
Yeah, I don't think I'd keep either
Unless
one.
Iglesias becomes a closer. There's the most upside there, I think.
Yeah.
Like $19 for a guy that's like even if he becomes the like head closer, it's probably a 60-40 split between him and Suarez. Like max, maybe? Or like it could easily be like a 55-45 closer split. Like
Totally fine to make the trade also, by the way. Just to me, it's like a lottery grab. As far as like
yeah.
maybe he gets an everyday job and can hit in the top 6 of the lineup. Or do you think it's more likely that Iglesias becomes the head closer, like Brad just said, like the main guy getting the majority of the saves?
Yeah.
And to me, neither one's super likely. I'd probably rather bet the closer thing just because bullpens are kind of volatile and Iglesias
Yeah.
being mid could just become a closer and hold on to it. But it's close.
Skip it.
Skip.
All right, moving right along here. We got another 1 for 1 here challenge trade. Brad, you were telling me all about how you thought this was a ripoff on both sides here. Would you rather shot it
It's
or
terrible, awful. So you're moving what Manny here? Kyle, did you who moved to?
he's on Miz? It's Miz and Kyle.
Kyle, you
Best
moved
friends
you
all
moved
week.
Manny, an expensive Manny, which was
59.
yeah,
They robbed a site. They robbed a 7-Eleven together. I saw
and
them.
you get a $11 Shane Bieber. I'll take Kyle's side once again and just side with my buddy Kyle here a bunch. Even though Bieber's got a little bit of a question mark right now with his throwing, does he? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm probably not going to keep him anymore.
You're probably not going to keep him.
I
I think at
think,
the time he was fine.
yeah.
Yeah, so time at the time I would take your side just because Manny's very pricey.
Unlike Brad, I'll take my thumb out of Kyle's butt and I'll just say I think Machado is like a top 30-ish player.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it makes sense. See, I don't want to make it like a fair for fair thing just because Kyle's already talked about like Ramirez and Judge thing. But I think I sort of assumed that's the way it would go with Kyle keeping those two.
Yeah.
Kyle's not keeping Manny probably. I get trying to take a lottery ticket shot here, and maybe Bieber just because Bieber was great in the second half in the
Was.
playoffs, especially last year. And if he ends up being healthy, it's a good play. But Machado is somebody who most guys in our league should want to have, even at the cost. Like Brad's right. I think it's like 58, 59, 60, something like that.
Probably fair value though.
Yeah. And fair value is enough where if it's actually truly fair value, I want to just have the guy so I can go to the auction building around him. I'm going to take this aside. I would rather have Machado, I think. I'm sorry, Kyle, but I would rather have Machado, I think. I get
All
why
right.
you keep him probably because I'd rather have Ramirez too. but I would take Nick's side.
No, I would easily take Mark's side too. I was disappointed I couldn't get more for Manny. I think it's great for Mark to get Manny. I think he'd go for well over $70 if he were
Probably.
dropped. And I think it's one of those things where, I mean, who's available right now? There's Soto, there's Lindor, and there's, I mean, Manny if he were dropped. So would you rather have Bieber or Manny? And I think great job, Mark, for selling. I think I took a little bit of a cut with Bieber, and unfortunately he's hurt. So I think I
Yeah.
will be dropping him most likely, unless we get really good news. But yeah, I mean, I think it's an easy one that Mark won, and tisk tisk league for not liking expensive players. I think
Yeah.
that's a hole in the game right now. I think you're going to be sorry when you get Lindor for $95.
Dude,
So
it really is.
Yeah.
Kyle's right about that.
Yeah, you are.
It's astounding to me how not correctly we value the top like 2 rounds or so. Like we just don't value. Oh, he's getting expensive. Okay, but he's 35 or 40 or 45 or 50 or 55 even. Like you'd pay 100 in the auction probably. You
Yeah.
probably have surplus value elsewhere. Do you want to win or do you want to finish fourth every year or eighth every year? Like, come on.
unless everyone magically transforms into Ariel Cohen this year, which hasn't happened yet, and it's just like the perfect efficient
Not yet.
market, and
Yeah.
everyone goes
It's
by the
not.
exact numbers. When that happens, then sure, I think that's maybe an overspend on Machado, but that's just not how our league works. The top of the curve is inflated, and the bottom of the curve it's all $0. So or $1, I should say. So I mean, yeah, like to me, Manny's an easy keep. I just couldn't afford him with what I'm doing. So.
But it brings up, I've debated a couple times with you guys in the offseason, my Matt Olson conundrum, where I think I'm just keeping Matt Olson because you're right. Like, if I drop him back in, I also now need a first baseman, and I'm probably going to pay over $60 to get a Matt Olson S player.
Here's a fun question, Brian. Would you rather have Matt Olson or Christian Walker?
Matt Olson?
I don't know how much
Me
Walker
too.
is. Is he like
Me too,
20?
Brian.
Is Walker like 20? Something like that?
Hey, Walker
Walker,
25.
I'd probably
Walker was
pick,
like terrible last year too, wasn't he? He was like really
yeah,
bad.
really
No,
bad.
he's bad at baseball. He's
And
not.
he's like 37. He's
I think
old, isn't he? Like Christian Walker's like way older than you think he
I
is.
think he's pushing 50. I'd want Olsen. I
I,
don't know if
I
you
like
guys.
100% want Olson. Like, yeah, Christian Walker's how old is this guy?
I think like
He's like 40.
He's just dying. They're
Yeah,
just
he's like
wheeling him
35, I think.
34. So Olson's also like 31. Like I'm kind of just I've now like landed on I'm just keeping Matt Olson.
But Olson is actually good at baseball.
That also is a huge factor in this.
If
Matt
that
Olson
helps,
is good at
if it's
baseball.
playing baseball
I just need to adjust my like expectations for Matt Olson that he's not gonna hit 50 home runs again.
until he
my
does.
yeah, I think he
But he
will.
might, but he might. But like, yeah, I have to adjust my expectations a little bit on that one. Just like I have to, shrink my Cal Raleigh expectations. I don't think I'm getting 60 out of my catcher again.
What are you projecting, Brad? Like 40, 35, 55, 40?
44, 45, 45. Fangraphs a
Oh,
there we go.
okay. Well, welcome back to Brad sharing his long monitor.
Do we see it well? I can't even tell.
No, it's so small.
Okay, I will not. Let me
Do you like your Uber Zoom or some shit?
hold on. I'm just gonna move it to a different monitor. It's struggling for my own success here.
Yeah, Brad's monitor's too big.
There we go.
All
Is it
right, so
sharing the right
scrolling down a
one?
little bit, we scroll down. We
There
left
are.
off on the Machado and the Bieber. Okay, so we have a 1-for-1 trade here next. I'm involved. I won't talk for the next 5 hours here. Nico Horner and Spencer Strider. Brad, tell me how I did.
You finally moved off of which is of Strider, which is sad day for you, but like maybe the biggest mystery box of a pitcher we have currently in baseball. Like we just don't know what we're gonna get out of Spencer Strider next year. We hope he's good, but he's also a two-pitch pitcher, pretty much, which is odd. Who lost his fastball? Like it's a real crapshoot. And then Nico Horner, another probably perpetually underrated player that is just going. You talked earlier, you wanted steals, and you got steals with Nico Horner on a good Cubs lineup. I would. I think it's probably if you look at values, probably a pretty fair trade. But I think I'm taking the Horner side for you. I think are both these people still rostered? I know you still have Horner.
Yeah, we do.
Strider is still rostered.
We
I
do. It's
can.
pretty much challenge trade as much as it gets because Horner, I think, is 15 going to 20. Strider, 16 to 21.
Yeah. So I think I'm on your side there.
I like that. Kyle, do you agree? And if you don't say anything.
I think this is a good close trade between two teams, going for it. So I think this is a fun one. I think Strider certainly has the range of outcomes and is obviously the sexier player, especially with his quads. But I like Horner. I think if you're going for it and you have your team build out, it's kind of nice to go towards a greater level of certainty. I think Horner is typically a little underrated.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm a little worried about Strider. Strider is the type of player I want on my team this year since I'm trying to rebuild. I think that could be a fun one. Um, yeah, I'll go Nick and leave it there.
Yeah, before we move on, I feel like the Strider outcome range, because I still really like Strider, and I have for years, is either he's like a top 15 to 20 pitcher again, or he's just not really usable and he's a waiver wire guy. I don't really see a scenario where he's just not, because either he's going to get the velo back, he maybe adds a third pitch, like Brad was saying. He mostly is a two pitch pitcher, and the third pitch has not been good for a couple times. But dude, if he's able to add that pitch back slash add some velo, he'll be amazing. And I love Strider. I've had him for a couple of years. Horner, though, I feel like is kind of underrated. He's going to a contract year. He's added a lot of muscle mass. I don't think he's a zero in power. I love the speed. I love the average. It's a great base to have. But mostly it's just they're going around each other in auctions. They're similar values. And I'm keeping most of the guys I have on my team right now. So I want stability. And Horner just feels like a better bet as far as I can kind of count what I'm getting. For Brendan, I get it too.
What pitch would Strider adding make you the most excited?
Probably a curveball or it'd be
I
something
f-
off speed. It wouldn't be a cutter. It'd probably be a curveball or maybe like a slurve kind of thing. I know he already has a. I don't know.
yeah, the sliders is number
Good
two,
question.
right?
Yeah, the
Which is like
star's
a
already
big
filthy.
dropping.
No, the star's
I,
already filthy. I mean,
yeah,
the best answer is just he adds velo back to the fastball.
guys, reel it back to the fastball. I mean, if
Adding velo back is just the right answer to the fastball. No third pitch, and he's still fine.
the splitters, the new hotness, but I think actually that would kind of he could probably get that splitter to maybe move a
I
little
think
bit
it's another
down.
off-speed pitch, though. It's another thing
Yeah,
with the slider.
yeah. I'd like to see him add something that's like the splitter, like a hard splitter.
Unfortunately for me, Brendan wanted him. So
Mm,
Certainty's already added it. We don't know yet, and it's really good.
yeah.
Well, hold your Horner because you mentioned that he added muscle mass, and guy, I told you about what happened to Randy Arozarena in
Yeah.
2024. He
Mhm.
beefed up, and I was like, I want me some Randy because he beefed up,
Beef
and
with the
then
boys.
he was beef bad.
Be bad.
Is really bad. Like he got so muscular. My personal theory is just that it restricted his movement.
He
Like no
became
one,
like from Carlos Stanton. I love it.
yeah, no one says that. I just think it actually happened. And then last year he looked a lot slimmer and he was good again.
Do
So
you
I,
guys agree with my assessment, though, too, that either Strider becomes a top 15-inch starter again or he's just out of baseball?
I don't think he's going to be out of
I
baseball,
don't think it will be either.
but
Well, I'm exaggerating slightly, but like either he gets it mostly back or he's just not useful.
I'm trying to think of who was like a two pitch pitcher we had like this recently that just kind of like lost it.
I mean
Well,
he
also,
can.
can you name a two-pitch pitcher starter? Because I love Strider, and I think it's more likely than not he is still good. I'm not trying to like be critical of Strider more than I'm making it sound like. It's just that I think his range of outcomes is wide, like Kyle said. It's just that it's either really good or really bad.
Yeah,
Like he's either going to be amazing or he won't be. Like this time next year, he's either like your second best pitcher or your best pitcher, or he's like I don't want to keep him.
that's true. Like everybody throws like nine different things now.
Like
Like
it's
it's
unlikely.
kind of crazy.
Like, if Strider finished SP 30, I'd be shocked. If he finished SP
No.
50, SP 60, or SP 10, I'm not shocked.
Well, hold up. So in 2021, Strider threw an app. So I'm only going to talk four seamer because
Mhm.
we all know four seamer and slider for Strider. So
Yes.
four seamer in 2021, before the breakout, obviously, 97.9. 2022,
Yeah, no.
98.2. 2023, 97.2. 2024, 96.3, and he got hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if he can, because last year he was 95.5. I think
Right.
if he can add half a tick or a full
Yeah.
tick, he might not be Strider, but I think he could be useful even as a two pitch pitcher. I think he just needs to add a little bit on 95.5. I think incremental gain over that is actually pretty helpful. And do you think I'm way off on that?
No,
No, no,
I think
I
you're
don't think
dead
at
right.
all.
I think you're dead right. I think that the situation I'm trying to say is that either he adds half a tick or a full tick and becomes close to full Strider again, or he just can't do it and becomes fringy.
I think even if he doesn't hit 97, if he's 96 and change, I think he's useful. Like I think he could be good, and then he has the potential to become Strider
Yeah.
again. I don't know if he can get back to 97 and change. We'll see.
He's a 90th
I
percentile
think
like
96 and a half
extension
is
guy.
already enough that, like, I think at 96 and a half, he probably is still a top 20, top 18, top 15 starter.
I mean,
Probably.
When Strider was Strider, he had the best fastball in baseball. That was Scooble starting and no Paul Skeens yet, which you probably put those two fastballs maybe ahead. There's probably some other ones in there you could toss, but like his extension's insane. He's 90th percentile in extension. He just gets a tick back. He's probably just Spencer Strider.
Man,
And the thing to Fleur too is, I mean, he is one of the most. A lot of the pitchers now, I mean, this generation of pitchers are all very analytically open in a way they weren't 10, 20 years ago. But like, he is one of the guys who goes to the most fringy things to try to figure out how to improve himself.
Bro.
He's very open minded. I'm confident he's added at least one third pitch the way he's saying he has. I'm confident he has found a way to add some velo. To me, it's more just like a wide range of outcomes thing. It's like Brendan either really cooks me here or I beat him slightly because either Warner's better than him for a year or so, and then we're both cutting both the guys, or Strider's good for 3 years as far as a keeper goes because he becomes a top 10 starter again.
I don't know if I'm embarrassing myself with not knowing how extension is calculated. Strider's listed as 6 feet, and he's definitely under 6 feet. So the fact that he's 90th percentile on extension is incredible. Like,
Yes.
I don't understand that at all, to be honest.
I think just how you present the ball. I think it's like where, as far as when you're coming forward, where it truly becomes visible out of your hand, like where it leaves your hand if you leave it early or late. So a 6 foot guy versus like a 5'9" guy or a 6'3" guy could be slightly different there, I believe.
It's
Okay.
it is by like feet, right? So I guess it's where is it
But
from
measured
the
in inches though, like not. I believe when Kyle says that it's 6 foot for him. Like I think if he was 5'11" or 6'1" there, it would change it by like 10% both sides. Like, I think it is pretty significant as far as the inches.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I thought extension was measured agnostic to your height. I thought it was distance from the mound to
Well, your
It
where.
is.
wingspan, your wingspan is usually similar to your height, though. I mean, so Strider being a certain size, like a 6'8" guy has a longer
Yeah.
height and wingspan than I do, for example.
I looked
Right.
it
So
up.
when Logan Gilbert, his extension is 99th percentile.
Yes.
On Baseball Savant, are they comparing apples to apples, Strider's extension versus Logan Gilbert's, or do
Yeah,
they?
Gilbert's bigger, so it's easier for him to have a better extension.
Of
Yeah.
course, that's
Yeah.
the whole point that I'm making. I can't believe that Strider's extension is so high.
Mhm.
Is my whole point because he's not that tall.
Yes. Yeah. It is a static measure from the end of the mount or from the end of the rubber
Yeah.
where
Sorry
he
if
releases
I'm
the ball.
talking past
No.
you
Yeah.
guys, but that's what I couldn't believe that he was that high on extension. I think that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Enough
insane.
about me and Brendan. This pod loves me. This pod loves Brendan. We're the two biggest guys we love. Let's keep it cooking here.
Yeah, I think it was a good trade. Good trade. All right,
Thank
what's
you,
the next
Brad.
one?
Brad, would you agree with me that Brendan lost this trade by a mile?
He gets Austin Riley, gets up Pavetta and Bush.
What?
Which one? Oh, Brendan. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the next trade.
Sorry,
No.
all right. I was
No.
listening.
I was like, wait, what?
This is Zach and Raymond. This is
Zach
just like
Naiman.
2015 all over again. Zach and Raymond. Would you guys rather have Nick Pavetta and Michael Bush or Austin Riley? Kyle, you know Zach, you know Raymond. Which side do you want?
I think I've taken Ray on 2 of his 3 trades so far, something like that. I'm gonna go Team Ray again. I'm going for the big buck Riley. I think he's the big guy in the trade. What did we used to call him? Like the big sexy. I don't know. We came up with like weird.
Big chunky.
I don't know what our Bren Cloud language used to be, but like our big boy, whatever. Riley's our big boy. So I don't know. Bush, Pavetta are fine. I think I like Pavetta a lot less than consensus.
Yeah.
And then Bush is actually pretty exciting to me. But yeah, get the big boppers. I like Riley.
So you would say you're looking for Riley. You're not looking for Bush.
Exactly.
Yes.
Brad, do you want Bush?
Mm. Loaded question. I would rather Austin Riley side here as well. I'm with Kyle. Goes back to Riley's a little expensive, but we probably undervalue our players in a holistic sense. I really like Michael Bush. I owned Michael Bush for a while and did not keep him. There's lots of talk of him not hitting at all versus lefties because he is really, really bad at it. And then that becomes a little concerning. And then Pivetta, I feel like we've been bashed over the head with Nick Pivetta is a really good pitcher for how long now? Like feels like 8 years. Like told Nick Pivetta is a very good pitcher, and he's finally became a good pitcher. San Diego is a good park to pitch in, but I will definitely go Austin Riley here on this trade.
This is a fun one because I actually think I don't feel strongly about it. I do disagree with you guys in the sense that
Hmm.
Pivetta, I think, is a surplus, although I agree that he is probably all pitchers are pretty wide range of outcomes.
Yeah.
We talked about like how wide Strider's is, for example. But Pivetta, because he gets beat up on sometimes, and it can be Cy Young sometimes, has a wide range, but he's a surplus generally. If we project 100 outcomes for him, he's a surplus most of the time. And Bush, I think, is a pretty significant surplus. Riley, I would definitely be keeping and be excited to keep. He's the best player in the trade by a bit, like by a considerable bit. But I would probably rather have, if I had the average roster, the build of having Pavetta and Bush than Riley, just in the sense that I think Bush's range of outcomes is high enough that he could be 80, 90% of Riley. Pavetta is a surplus, and you're saving money overall. For Raymond, I
Mhm.
get one of the best player. Again, I'm never going to hate a trade where you get the best player, but I would probably take Zach's side here. I would probably rather have Pavetta and Bush. You guys
Yeah.
hate that? You love that? Anything to say before we move on? I want to get the last word.
You can have the last word.
Okay, that's that. Moving right along here. This is a Nick and Mark Stad trade. So the winner of this trade is Mark Stad. You guys rather have Eugenio Suarez and Matthew Boyd, or Ivan Herrera, Trevor McGill, and Jorge Polanco? Brad, you used to be Mark Stad. What do you think about this one?
I might still be. We don't know. Uh, did you make this trade after Suarez signed?
It
Yeah,
was 2 or 3 days before.
2 or 3 days before. Oh, so I like that even more for you now. You get him in Cincinnati.
Well, I knew he'd sign there. I knew about that.
Yeah, you're an insider. I forgot.
I am the Reds.
Hmm. Looking at it straight up, Herrera's interesting. It kind of sucks you're not going to get him at catcher for a little while. I think that's the only position right now you do not have filled in any means.
It is.
Um,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, but Suarez is probably going to hit just a fuck ton of home runs in Cincinnati this year. And Matthew Boyd was very, very good last year, and I would take your side on this one as well. Go there.
I
McGill's
I'm
not
the
even going
man.
to close, is he?
No, I think McGill is.
Is he
I would
closing?
definitely.
Okay.
I think he's a
Okay.
good plus.
Yeah, I think there's about a 50-50 chance that the two best players in the trade are on the same side here. So I think
Yeah.
Suarez is the best player, and I think there's a good chance, it's not a guarantee. I think Boyd could be the second best player in the trade. So I would take Nick's side just because I like those players more. Um, Polanco is certainly a fun value. I do like him on the Mets, so that's positive. Herrera, again, decent value. I think potentially the way our drafts go, maybe you could pick him up for $4 or $5 in the draft. You never know, or in the auction. McGill, yeah, I mean, closers are tough in our league, so it's a wash. It's kind of up to your strategy. So I think it's fair and it makes sense on both sides. And I realize Suarez didn't necessarily have his best season when he was with Cincinnati in the past, but still, I think if you look at last year and you look at Brian Reynolds last year went for $47, Trout went for $47, Snell went for 45, Santander last year went for 43. Bichette went for 40, and Bichette actually was good last year, but the season
Yeah.
before, he was terrible. So if you think about that, Suarez, he could go for 45, $50. So I
Hmm.
like this for Nick.
Yeah.
I think philosophically, I'm unique more than the average person in our league, and maybe more than anyone else in our league, in that my team is close to, especially on offense, almost like Brad alluded to. I think the catcher and maybe one utility is all I'm going to have to draft. I'm going to have very little money, but I'm planning to keep most of the guys I currently have. And when I was running through the last 3 years, what would have finished first, third, fifth, eighth in each category? After Terang, after Horner, some of the trades I made previously, we've already discussed, power became a spot where I'm kind of looking to add.
Hmm.
And to me, paying close to ticket value if Suarez resigns in Seattle, or better than that if he signs somewhere better like Cincinnati. I got lucky he signed somewhere I like.
Yeah.
I didn't know he'd sign there. But to me, power was a thing I wanted to add. And I feel like Kyle just said, mid players, depending when they get nominated, could go for 30, 40, 50, go for whatever. They could go for 15. Like if Soares came up super late and he was in
Yeah.
Seattle, they go for 15. But if he
Yep.
gets nominated early and he's in Colorado or somewhere good on offense, like the Reds, he probably goes really high. So I was sort of banking on because I do think McGill, though I don't know how to value closers, and we've already said that a bunch, I think McGill is a huge surplus just by being a closer on a mediocre to good team. I think it's really interesting to me with McGill, just before I move on off of him, that he's going lower than he should in NFBC drafts. They value closers highly, but there's a lot of concern, it seems like, in the NFBC community that McGill will lose the job to Uribe. Uribe only closed when McGill was hurt.
Yep.
McGill was healthy. The Brewers are clearly very frugal. Assuming he's not hurt, McGill will close because they want to keep Uribe's cost as far as getting saves and arbitration goes. Uribe will not close over McGill. So if you're worried about McGill, it's because you think McGill's going to get traded to a team he won't close. I assumed, honestly, the whole offseason, either he'll stay there and close, or he'll be traded to be a closer. He's going to be a good value. I think Polanco's a surplus, and I also think Ivan Herrera is a surplus, albeit probably a slighter one than the average catchers, because so many people already have catchers. All that said, Suarez is the best player in the trade, I think, and I wanted power pretty deeply at this point.
Yeah.
That was the position I found myself most lacking in a couple weeks ago in offense as far as the preseason goes. And when I was looking at the guys who would be available, especially guys who can play third base or catcher, Suarez is pretty comfortably the best option for me. So I was looking to almost lose a value surplus trade to add to a team that I want to try to compete with. But I think getting him and then Boyd back, who I do like, helped me a lot. I think Jack probably wins the overall surplus value thing here, but I think it makes me better. So you guys kind of already said the same thing. But that's sort of how this one happened. Brad, do you apologize for what you said about my team?
No, I actually kind of like your team right now.
Thank you, Brad.
I'm intrigued. This is like you said, you're doing this kind of different. You and Kyle have, in a sense, similar mindsets going into the draft, where you're like, I used up all my money beforehand.
I am deeply thinking I'm going to have very little ability to buy expensive players, which means during the auction, I will be the guy who waits an hour to buy anyone and is saying, what a great value. What a great value. Bid, bid, bid.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny how similar in a sense, but almost different your rosters look with the same idea. Kyle spending, what, $200 with Aaron Judge and Jose Ramirez? And you're gonna be kind of in the same boat. Yeah, like right. You're gonna be like in the same similar kind of boat here. It's very interesting to see your lots of different spaces going on.
Coliseum's gonna be like where you draw the horse and the first half is really pretty. The second half is like scribbles.
I don't know if Varsho and Joe Adele are scribbles, but
I really like Tartan Varsho this year. Kyle's
look at Kyle getting loose.
Yeah.
All right,
I had some cookies. I had some cookies and milk, so I'm getting loose.
Ooh. Yeah, Milky Kyle, they call him. Anyway, moving right along here, we got Charlie and Roman. This is my favorite one all offseason. How the fuck did this happen?
I love it.
What was the conversation like? What did they discuss? Do they even know who each other are? Anyway, Charlie and Roman here. Freddie Peralta for Framber, Marcelo Meyer, and Augustin Ramirez. How do you even know each other? Anyway. Brad, would you rather be Charlie or Roman?
Is Peralta still pretty cheap?
No.
I don't think he is anymore, right?
No, he's not. He's like in the high 20s, low 30s, I think.
38.
Oh, mid 30s, high 30s.
38, yeah.
Framber's only like 33.
Yeah.
Framber, I think, is mid 30s. Kyle's probably right, 33 if you're confident in that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I clicked on Freddie.
But more in the trades, like how do these guys talk to each other? I love that.
That is, wild turn of events there.
Carrier pigeon? I don't know.
Smoke signals. Yeah, wow.
Like,
okay, that is
like
interesting.
The movie Lost, where like the other's fine.
Oh man. I would rather have the Brown Bomber side looking at this just straight up. I don't know if the gap between Freddie Peralta and Framber is that big. You're getting a slightly cheaper Framber. You're getting a young Marcelo Meyer who's most likely going to play a good chunk of the year. The Red Sox are a confusing team at the moment with that kind of stuff. It's
pre-Durbin too, to be fair.
It's pre-Caleb Durbin.
A little bit.
Even then, I don't know what they have.
They probably both play, to be honest.
Also, oops, all shortstop strategy, but I don't know how well that's going to work in Major League Baseball compared to fantasy baseball. And Augustine Ramirez is really interesting because he's going to get you close to probably 20 plus steals out of the catcher
Oh yeah.
position. We were talking about Cal Raleigh and like even having a bad outcome for Cal Raleigh would be like 35 home runs, and he's probably still the best catcher in baseball. Like Augustine Ramirez is going to steal more bags than any other catcher, and that's hugely valuable for him. So yeah, much rather have the Brown Bombers side on this one with Framber
Char-
Marcel and Ramirez.
Charlie is Kyle's best friend generally. So Kyle, I assume you like Charlie's side, or are you gonna pivot from your best buddy to go to Roman's side?
I love Charlie's side. So,
Yeah.
truthfully, I was excited to talk about this trade because Brad, I think you have a good take, and it's funny. I was expecting to be the contentious one here,
Hmm.
but I think so. I just looked up ADP. So Peralta, his ADP is 58.3,
Yeah.
and Framber is all the way down at 91.4.
Wow.
I think some of the ADP on Framber is skewed by. I haven't looked at like the most
Not
recent.
knowing where he's going.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the most recent ones, but I think it's skewed by uh, the fact that he was unsigned for a while, and I think ADP tends to push you up even if you go to a bad location.
Yeah.
Um, um, Afterwards, once there's certainty, your value increases. So I think Framber plus the extra $5, he's cheaper than Freddie. I think it's a toss up. I think when you're at the
Yeah.
top of the curve from a pitcher's perspective, I like the top of the top, but I think pitchers become globby pretty quick, and Framber's obviously not in the glob. But I think when you have those middle pitchers, the value between them is not as great as maybe the drafts tend to push. So for me, I like Framber almost the same as Freddie. I think Freddie's injury risk is much higher. I don't really like him this year personally. And so I'll definitely take Charlie's side. If I were Charlie, I would not keep Meyer even pre-Durbin. I think
Yeah.
$6 is fringy. Post-Durbin, definitely I would cut Marcelo as much as maybe he's a fun player. So even Framber and Ramirez, I would prefer over Peralta. Maybe even Framber straight up against Freddie, given there's a $5 delta. I might take Framber. So I think good job, Charlie.
I
The
wonder
reason
if
we'll
do we overvalue Freddie Peralta solely because he's so valuable in real life baseball? Because he's like what, like $6 million or something like that a year right now? Like Freddie's really good. Don't get me wrong, but like I feel like we might overvalue him because baseball values him way more than we do.
While Kyle was talking, I looked it up because I was curious. I think Kyle's right that in general, especially in ADP, guys who are unsigned go way too low.
Yeah.
But just in the last calendar week, uh, Framber is going in the top 95, which makes sense.
Yeah.
He raised. I was surprised to find how high Freddie's going. Freddie's going as a top 60 player.
Yeah,
So
I
Huh.
think it's a mistake.
Yeah. That
yeah,
seems
I'm
too
not
high.
necessarily saying I agree with it either. I'm just saying it's. I assume they'd be close together. They're not.
They
So
should be.
it's probably pretty fair as far as just like the values from the ADP are telling us. All that said, I don't want to spend too much time because I agree with you guys. I'd rather have Augustine for the minimum and the option to have Meyer just because I think they're pretty close. But the
Mhm.
best player is probably Freddie.
I know we don't want to spend too much time on it, but I'll throw one other thing out there. So
Mm.
Roman has too many fringy players that aren't good. He doesn't consolidate. So this was a
Mm.
consolidating trade, so it's good for Roman. But if you click
Okay.
on Roman's team, look at how many players he has
Yeah.
that are
Whoa.
just like kind of good but not standout. So Roman, even if this is maybe a lose for you, I think you have to do this more. You should have gotten Manny Machado from
Griffin
me.
Light. You're right. You
You
like
should
Griffin Light.
be building out your team. So I do think I like Charlie's team a lot more, but I'll call that out just for Roman because Roman is a team where it seems like every year I have him as a top 4 or 5 roster and it doesn't pan out. I think those consolidations need to start happening.
Smart. You're right. He's like Griffin Light. All right, we got 7 minutes. Let's bang out here. Two more.
Yeah.
Oscar for Glass now. This is a Zach and Kyle deal here, Brad. Do you like Zach or do you like Kyle?
Ooh. I think.
Oh, God is right. I'm so nervous.
Give me Teoscar. Tyler Glasnow is like probably one of the guys I'd love to just like flip on MLB TV and watch.
It's
But
Kyle, yeah.
but like he is not. Me and Kyle were laughing about, I think, when Kyle won a couple years ago, where I had a under bet on Tyler Glasnow strikeouts, and then he got hurt like right at the end of the year, and Kyle was like dying because he needed more Tyler Glasnow like starts. He made glass now. He's just not. I don't trust Tyler Glasnow to like give you 180 innings. He's not going to do that. He's probably not going to give you 150 innings. And Teoscar, even with the question marks, he's still going to get a lot of at bats. They're still going to, play in the best lineup in baseball. I'd rather have Teoscar.
I think it's a super reasonable trade. They're both Dodgers, so fun job there, Dodger.
Mhm.
I think probably it's a roster construction thing for Kyle, where even though I assume you want pitchers less, the fact that Glasnow is cheaper probably helps, even though it's not by a
Yeah.
ton. And I would guess that's probably how this happened. All that said, I actually would probably slightly go Kyle's side, just that Glasnow's
Yeah,
rate
interesting.
is so high. But at a median cost where they cost the same amount, I would just rather that or Teoscar. But with these things in here, I would go 55-45 towards Glasnow because if he stays healthy, if he spikes highly, he's good.
He just hasn't stayed healthy.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm
my
not saying he
concern.
definitely would either. I was being dramatic 2 hours ago when we talked initially. I fear Teoscar, if he has a bad first 2 months, could become a platoon guy.
That's the concern with
I think it's a
Teoscar.
non-zero chance it does happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's likely. I don't think it's sort of likely. I just think it's possible.
Yeah.
But anyway, Kyle, how'd this happen?
Yeah, they're both. I feel like I'm someone who doesn't really have Kyle guys, but I'd say that Glasnow and Teoscar are both Kyle guys. So this is kind of a fun one. It's also kind of fun that they're
Oh, Kyle on Kyle crime.
yeah they're both a little bit older slash Glasnow banged up.
Yeah, would
Um,
you flip him for it back in the day?
and so I think it's kind of a fun one
Mm,
where um,
Damn.
interesting flip back in the day.
yeah, that one was too bad with Randy Rodriguez because he was a keeper.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, with Glass now, it's kind of fun because I think actually Teoscar and Glass now both are players who most people in the industry say are kind of like um, I don't know, they're going to fail this year. They're popular
Mhm.
bust candidates. But I feel like that's kind of why I like them. Like Glass now, I feel like his ADP is maybe the worst it's been since I don't know, I started playing fantasy. So I think it's a time to buy in. His velocity is certainly down, which hurts him significantly. But I think if he can do what he did last year, he's a little bit underrated at this point. And yeah, Teoscar, I still love him, but Nick's right. This was a roster construction move.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, we got 3 minutes. Let's bang it to this last one here. Brad, you go first here. Would you rather have Kerry Carpenter or nothing?
Um, nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I like Mark's side of this.
Yeah.
I was really interested. It seems like there were some questions in the league about this trade, but I feel like Nick really hurt himself with this move. I feel like the Mark side, I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the fence. See, I like Kerry. I feel like he's at too much value as far as he's going to cost too much, so not enough value. Is that what I mean? But Mark was explaining to me how I could draft him for up to $70, or I could just keep him for 16. And to me, he's worth like 13. So if there's a risk I might pay 70 in the auction, I'd rather just knock it down now and know I'm paying 16. He's probably only worth again like 13, but it's kind of nice to know what you're getting, even if it's bad. Like if you could tell me tomorrow I could live the rest of my life and be in pain, at least I know what I'm doing. Like it's just kind of comfortable. And Mark said he's not worth keeping, so it makes sense for Mark to dump salary. If I could do it again, I probably wouldn't accept it just because I think it looks bad. But I get why Mark wanted to do it drastically, and I get why it worked out for both of us, hopefully.
Uh, this brings me back to all those like famous trades of the players to be named later trades, and you're getting a stud here in Kerry
Past
Carpenter.
considerations.
But like Mark's getting, it could be anybody. It could be David Ortiz was a player to be known later. Like
Exactly.
it could be Shohei Ohtani. We don't know. It could be anybody. That's really the question mark here. It could be anybody. That's the interesting part.
If Carpenter could hit the same against lefties and righties, would he be a top 25 hitter?
If you could even be like 80 runs created versus lefties, he'd be like a top 150 player. He'd be really valuable.
Yeah.
This is Kerry Bonds, where he's Cy Young caliber hitter against righties, and he can't play against lefties.
Yeah.
Also, as we are talking, we have a minute left. I just cut Kerry Carpenter. I'm not keeping him. Mark wasn't keeping him. I was never part of this. Charlie, I'm glad you got really worked up.
But
Mission accomplished.
we haven't covered all the trades. So then, because you dropped him, I'm also dropping Pena, the prospect, and then picking up Carey. So there, it's kind of like it's like a minor
Oh, so you're
league.
trying to carry for Pena.
You're the
Exactly.
Tampa Bay Rays, the team that
I
just
just
appears
cut
in all
it.
these
No,
trades.
Kyle, we could have done it.
Yeah. Kyle just Tampa Bay raising us. Just
But
the
Mitch
Tampa
was
Bay's
like,
involved
I'm
in this,
not
by the
picking
way.
him. And I was like, let's do a 1-for-0 trade because he brought up your offer, Kyle. He was like, why would I have done that? And I was like, let's do this now. And he's like, okay.
Well, I like that you're doing new things. You're
We're trying new stuff.
Trying new stuff.
we're just having fun.
Me and Miz are experimenting.
Why not?
Oh, perfect. Mark's here. Guys, we have 30 seconds, but Mark's here.
Mark's
oh my
here.
god.
I think he's in. Hold on. Let's see. We have less than a minute. I hope he shows up.
I hope he shows up. He's so funny.
It says he's joining.
It's not gonna make it in time.
30 seconds. Oh, I gotta take a picture in case we lose it. Hold on.
Oh no.
It says Mark's iPhone is in the process.
Come on, Zoom.
I hope we get him. We're gonna lose in 12 seconds, Brad.
Brutal.
All right. Well, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. We don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
Great time.
Love you
A lot
guys.
of fun, boy.